welcome to the NewsX Sunday Guardian Roundtable. Well, this week we're going to be taking a look at the political fallout of the Hathras rape incident, on the Yogi government, on the opposition, also because we've seen both Rahul and Priyanka take to the streets and court arrest. But more importantly, on this, what does it say about us as a society, about the politicians and the state of UP? Also because, it's not just Yogi, even during Mulayam Singh Yadav's time, Akhilesh Yadav's time, there have been rape incidents. The state of UP has been under focus for its diminishing law and order. Is it now time to do something, or are politicians doing something, or are they taking only pot shots at each other? Depending on who's in power, the other side hits the streets. Can something concrete come out of this? That is what we're going to be discussing on Roundtable today. Joining me is Radhika Ramaseshan. She's a consulting editor at Business Standard and a columnist. Rashid Kidwai is the author of 24 Akbar Road and a columnist, commentator. Shantanu Gupta, he's also a commentator, author of a biography on Yogi and a columnist. Aditi Phadnis, she is of course a political editor at Business Standard also. Aditi, a lot of interesting things have happened the last week. In fact, during our last roundtable when we spoke, I remember you're the one who brought up the fact that the farmers issue is going to be, you flagged it as one of the issues that is going to hit the parliament, which is what has happened. But moving on from the farmers issues, we've seen the UP incident, that's really the fresh. So can we begin with talking about the UP incident, how it's been handled, the rape case, how the Yogi government has come out of it, how the Congress has come out of it?
I think UP, yes, what happened was a dreadful thing, and I don't think anybody will disagree on that. But I think more injustice is being done to UP than it deserves. There have been cases of rape all across India. All of them have been, rape is never pleasant. But state governments have responded to such incidents in different ways. UP, if you look at the statistics from the National Crime Records Bureau, which is actually the only authoritative statistics that we have, UP is not that high on atrocities against women, particularly scheduled caste women. If you look at the records, it is actually lower than number 7 or number 8, the highest being Rajasthan, where the crime rate is 55. So much as the pictures, the visuals, the way the police has treated people, the way the whole thing has been handled, the optics of it, as well as the actual case, is terrible. It shocks you. But UP as a state, I don't think is behaving any differently from any other state.
Shantanu, you've done a lot of work in UP also, you're in touch. So your first takeaways from the Hathras case, how it was handled, the rape case, how the law and order situation was handled, the police and the politics.
See, I think I agree with Aditi ji that UP gets undue attention for all such cases, and the data shows otherwise. In data, even Kerala has a bad statistics than UP at per capita assaults on women. In fact, my question to all of you, and you are all from media, I'm an independent columnist, why does it happen? Is it because the doorsteps reporting, because every one of us are in Noida, Delhi, UP comes easy, or it's Yogi Adityanath, he creates more story, Kerala, West Bengal, they don't create story. So I think even gruesome, I was checking, was it Ropi, what had happened in September? Kerala, a 19-year-old rape inside an ambulance, a COVID patient raped inside an ambulance. Imagine if this would have happened in UP. A CPM woman found hanging in the party office in Thiruvananthapuram. Right? Can you imagine this is happening in any BJP office in any part of UP, right? So that's one. How police handled it? Yeah, I mean, the way I have seen Yogi Adityanath, he has no one aage, no one piche. He will do whatever it takes. Only his politics at stake. So he will do whatever it takes to come out clean. Say he's a Thakur, he will save Thakur guys. I think this is a nonsense. I think some Sandeep guy he will try to save for his chief ministerial image. He will never do that, right? So that's my take. I think a lot of things are made out to be, they say why the body is being burned at midnight. I can show you hundreds of cases where body is settled very quickly, because in the morning you will find the vultures like Chandrasekhar Ravan and all will come and they will try to create a ruckus on the dead body.
No, but the family,
Chandrasekhar Ravan is a vulture. I don't think that is correct.
That's my take. You can disagree for sure.
I don't think that is correct. I'm putting this on.
I can show you some amazing tweets. I'll send you some amazing tweets with amazing language that he has tweeted. No, he has literally mother-sister abuses on Twitter. I think that shows his character. That shows his character. I'll show you some amazing.
Okay, Aditi is, disagreeing with that. So the debate is not about Chandrasekhar Azad, but about the happenings in UP. And, I also would...
It's on 2:30. There's a 2:30 burning, right? The forensic report was already there. The postmortem was done, right? Body was given to the family. So police will gain nothing. Police will not hide.
He was not invited for the,
police. Body was taken from the house only, right? By force, that SIT will find out. Once the police will gain nothing by burning the body. People saying, oh, they're hiding something. If once the body is handed to the family, anyway, the body is tempered, right? So then you can't do anything.
How is it tampering? How is it tampering if it is handed over to the family?
I'm saying forensically, once the body come out of the hospital, it's considered a tempered. You ask any medical expert. It's tempered already.
But the fact
forensically. So police is trying to hide something. That's also a farce, right? They might have done for law and order situation. Then have to find out of the SIT, or maybe if someone demands a CBI, then people say, oh, it's Modi's CBI, right? Then the I think the loop is endless, right? So I think making out bad mole out of a khaki is very easy. Oh my God, they all are bad guys. Prashant Kumar just read the report. Doesn't say rape. Oh my God, you don't say rape. You don't know the law. Every media person has jumped on him. He just read the report. The report doesn't say, but even then the rape charges are not dropped. The administration could have very easily dropped the rape charges.
But Ryan's statement says very clearly she was raped by 2 of them. And 2 of the 4, 2 raped her and 2 fled. That's why
rape charges are not dropped. But Prashant Kumar just read the report, doesn't show it. All the 3 reports from Safdarjung to Jamia, they don't show it. And the media jumped on it. So I'm saying it's also a lot of miscalculation, a lot of misinformation. Let's see what SIT comes out with. That's my take till now.
Radhika, your reaction, because there's a lot that I also disagree with this, Shantanu, but I'll let Radhika have a say first.
Yeah, firstly, I think the NCRB data, the last report, makes it very clear that UP tops the country in crimes against women. I mean, I'm not talking about generic crimes. I'm talking specifically about crimes against women. So to say that, UP is low down or whatever and Rajasthan is a higher may not be correct. Anyway, this is not the time to make comparisons between states. We are talking about one specific incident that was followed by another 2 or 3 incidents in Uttar Pradesh. Okay, and mind you, Priya, these are reported incidents. I know I've lived and worked in UP. A lot of crimes, especially against Dalits, go unreported because they are too scared to walk up to the police thana, which is generally peopled with upper caste men. And I'm not saying that ex-chief minister has planted this one or so on, but generally the guys who register complaints are from the upper caste. They don't listen to Dalits. There was an exception in Mayawati's time. If you notice, the number of crimes against Dalits, reported crimes, really went up during Mayawati's time. And everybody said that, it's a backlash against Dalits. No. It's just that Dalits felt emboldened enough to walk up to the police station and file complaints. So there is a difference. I mean, Mayawati may or may not have acted, her officers may or may not have acted on those complaints, but the point is that she gave Dalits some courage to go at least to that bit. Now, in Akhilesh Yadav's time, similarly, the police thanas were packed with Yadavs. I mean, that was a well-known fact. Okay. And he also lost the elections. One of the principal issues was law and order. And one of the complaints that one heard everywhere is that it's these Yadavs who are attacking, again, the Dalits. Now, in Yogi's time, there is no hard data, but there is anecdotal evidence to suggest that the Rajputs have got an upper hand in administrative and police postings over other castes. Now, you might say, oh, yes, it's a natural thing to do in Uttar Pradesh, but it's high time any chief minister in Uttar Pradesh, and I also include Mayawati in this, they should redress the social balance and give adequate representation to all communities, all castes, so that a particular community or a particular caste is not targeted. Okay, anyway, we are coming to Hathras. Of course, it's a heinous crime. There's no doubt about it. And it looks like this girl was quite a spunky girl. I mean, she was going there to take admission in college. And when she was waylaid by these 4 men and, then, I mean, she lost her life. Shantanu said about the autopsy and the FSL and so on. I'm not going into all that. I mean, I haven't visited the spot, so I don't know what the truth is. But from whatever has been reported, her dying testimony should be treated as the final word. And she has very clearly said, of the 4 men who waylaid her, 2 raped her and 2 fled from the scene. So there is no doubt that this girl was assaulted and raped, and hence, therefore, the rape charge should stand. However, even assuming it was not a rape, the point is she was strangulated. She was, hacked to death. I mean, how is that a less heinous crime than rape? The point is that she was killed in cold blood. Her body was burnt. It was not handed over to the family. And that's where the whole thing ended. So, this case cannot be treated in isolation, because there have been a number of cases in Uttar Pradesh in the recent past. You had one, I think, somewhere in Jhansi, where a Dalit minor again went to the field to defecate, and she was waylaid again by upper caste men, raped and murdered. I mean, this is just one case that is coming to mind, but every now and then you do hear of these cases in Uttar Pradesh. Now, would I say that law and order has taken a toss in Yogi Adityanath's time? Well, I would say that barring Mayawati, all the other chief ministers have not had a particularly shining record in managing law and order. However, law and order was one of the prime issues on which the BJP was voted to power in 2017 with an absolute majority. I mean, they ripped apart Akhilesh for his mismanagement and they came. So where are you delivering on that promise? I think Yogi should be held accountable. He holds the Home Ministry. Definitely he should be held accountable for all the cases that have been happening in the recent past, Vikas Dubey, and so on. And there's a pattern, each time there is an encounter or a murder, the victim's body is promptly cremated. I mean, why? Obviously, you want to destroy all evidences, which may eventually lead to the police's door or the administration's door. So there is a major, major problem out there, and Yogi Adityanath cannot escape rap, no matter what everybody says. There is a tendency to scapegoat the lower level administrative officers or the DM or the police. I do not think that's a good enough alibi to give the chief minister an escape route. Certainly not.
Shantanu, you want to come in quickly before I bring in Rashid?
Yeah, I'm saying, don't leave Yogi Adityanath, and nobody's anyway leaving. From last 3 days, I have attended some 30 debates, so nobody's leaving Yogi anyways, right? See, what, as other panelists have said, what Yogi has inherited in 2017, he inherited a police force where there are 3 lakh vacancies and only 1,50,000 are filled. And why others are not filled? Because High Court has said you can't fill people from same caste. There was dhandli in vacancy filling, right? And last 2 governments. And then finally, this 1,30,000 police force is added, right? It will come on field after the training. So finally, UP has a 3 lakh police force after 15 years. Nobody knows about this.
But particularly caste dominated. One caste is dominating.
No. Currently, there is no domination. I think it's a fair. You can. And no one went to High Court. This is the very first time in police bharti no one went to High Court. This is a normal trend in UP. Any big bharti happens, one person goes to High Court. The bharti is stalled for almost 6 months. Second thing, you all know Mukhtar Ansari to Atiq Ahmed to Gayatri Prajapati. Instead of jail, they were in Vidhan Sabha. Third thing, the whole state was running on a philosophy. Ladke hain, galti ho jati hai. Today, ladke hain, galti ho jati hai. Ladke is still there. Galti is still happening. Out of the 90 rapes that are happening every day, 9 or 10 are happening as per the data in UP. That's a different thing. The rest 80 that's happening elsewhere in India, I don't know why they are being reported. Why don't they become a 9 o'clock news, a 5 o'clock debate, or the part of your show? That's a different topic. That why Yogi gets this extra lens to check. Maybe it's a doorstep reporting because all of us.
But even earlier rape cases were reported. You can say, why does UP get so much attention? You can't say, why does Yogi get so much attention?
I can tell you heinous crimes that happens in September itself.
But to say that Kerala has heinous crimes doesn't take away from Yogi's crimes or what's happening on his watch.
I'm just pointing out a separate fact. I'm saying that's something. Do 22 hours reporting on Yogi, but at least spare 2 hours for Kerala also. Spare 1
It
hour.
is not Yogi versus
also.
Kerala. It is UP versus Kerala, and that I will make concede. But it is not Yogi. It's same thing happened during Akhilesh Yadav's time also, and you yourself has mentioned the boys.
West Bengal, 2 tribal girls raped. They took poison. 1 died. No news.
No, but that was reported.
Yeah, so Shantanu, we are saying that a lot of emphasis is given on UP. We are agreeing with you on that, but we are not agreeing with you that Yogi is the target. Rashid,
even Yogi more. You all know, right? Everyone hates his saffron plat, his saffron. Yeah. So what he inherited is what he inherited, right? Based on what he is working, do we want to stand with Yogi, who's trying to clean this defunct system of UP, or we want to stand with previous governments for when the philosophy was ladke hain galti ho jati hai? I think.
No, but Yogi is not proving himself to be better than the other governments. As Radhika said, he came in on that promise, but he hasn't given us that reassurance.
I'll tell you a thumb rule. I'll tell you a very simple thumb rule. Just follow the money. If money is going in the state, just follow the money. They are far more vigilant than all of us, right? 5 lakh crore rupees investment is coming. Almost 2 lakh.
On paper.
No.
We all know what happens.
2 lakh crore rupee Bhumi Pujan has also happened. I can tell you case by case. Luckily have the government orders also. Paytm, the companies in Noida, they were not delivering in Noida before 2017. They were not delivering in UP. They were delivering. Now they are delivering. Ask Vijay Shekhar Sharma. I think ask the industries. Is UP safe than before? Is UP getting more power than before?
That's another debate. I will call. I'll call you for that debate.
Office on Noida. Ask your own office in Noida. Their genset bills have reduced because more power is coming. Right?
We shifted from Noida. I don't know why, but it could be the high power.
I know you shifted from Noida. But again, more power is coming, more electricity is coming in whole of state. So follow the industries. If their money.
I live in Noida, Shantanu. We are still getting power cuts, so I disagree.
You have to compare. You have to do comparative analysis.
Okay. Aditi, you want to say something before Rashid comes in?
All I'm saying is, I don't care what the color of Yogi's clothes is. I don't care if he wears saffron or the chief minister wears yellow or black and blue or whatever. I don't care. But the fact is that something has happened. And this is not the first time it's happened. There has been an encounter after encounter after encounter in UP. Starting from the time that that boy from Apple was killed just outside in a suburb of Lucknow. It happened, I mean, he didn't stop when the police told him to stop and they fired and killed him.
Lucknow itself, yes.
From that point till today, and we still don't know what happened. Why was he killed in the way that he was? So from that point till today, I think we all have to, this is not a, Yogi Adityanath is hardly a victim. I mean, the people who are recipients of his rule are the victims. So let's get our perspective right here. And nor is Yogi Adityanath the only chief minister who has, under whose watch these kind of things have happened. Nobody is saying that. The question is, we are trying to get to the bottom of something that has happened, which all of us agree was a terrible thing to happen.
Rashid, can I bring you in? I'm sorry for making you wait so long, but a little bit focus on also how the opposition has handled it. You know, we saw Rahul and Priyanka hitting the streets. Finally, I would say they're showing some kind of life. But Rahul did that with Bhatta Parsal also. So, is it making an impact? Are you, saying finally the Congress is coming to life, or is it one of his hit and run moments?
Yeah, I think first of all, you see this whole aspect of whataboutery is a loser's argument. When the Sushant Singh Rajput issue was being highlighted, a lot of people were again, blaming media and shooting the messenger, saying that, there are so many suspected cases of suicide and murder and all are taking place. Why so much of focus is there on Sushant Singh Rajput? Here, the same kind of argument is being marshaled. What's happening in Kerala, what happened in Rajasthan, what's happening in, the other non-BJP ruled states. I think this is, a loser's argument. And I'll tell you why I'm saying it. Because if you would just look back, of 2012 and 13, Mr. Shantanu Gupta would be sounding just like any other, a Manish Tiwari or a Congress spokesperson, giving all kind of, valid arguments, but arguments that lack, any sense of political morality. Here the issue is of political morality. Nobody is accusing Mr. Yogi Adityanath of being hand in glove with all those, kind of the serious crimes that are taking place in UP. But the issue is about, he's the chief minister, he has to be accountable. The bureaucracy is insensitive, police is insensitive, not today, from time immemorial. But again, it's the political caste which is an elected representative, that person or those individuals are responsible. It Wasn't it Mr. Narendra Modi who described Delhi as a rape capital of India in 2013 at Ambedkar Nagar in Delhi? I think it was 1st of December 2013. So why was he saying it? Because he wanted to score a political point. Now, so the opposition is very much within its right, whether it's Rahul Gandhi or Priyanka Gandhi or anyone, to score a political point, because BJP has perfected this art. They are not liking it because they are made to hear this thing, and they are saying this is photo opportunity. What was Mr. Modi doing outside a Taj Hotel on 26/11 happened? So these are the questions that need to be pondered. I think the issue here is not so much about this kind of, unfortunately, rape cannot be stopped, but political class has to show sensitivity. Where is Smriti Irani today? She made such a outright. I remember talking to Sheila Dikshit, the chief minister. She was saying, law and order is not a state secret. I told Sheila Dikshit, I said, you resign, take a moral responsibility. And she was totally, shocked that I was saying this. I wrote about it also. The fact of the matter is, this our political class today has become totally indifferent, insensitive about what's happening. What the BJP is doing today in 2020 is what UPA had done in 2012, 13, 14, and the consequences. It may not happen, but fact of the matter is the BJP and its sympathizer today, stand totally exposed.
I think that's a good point. Now, what the opposition is doing now, the BJP did then. So political class will keep taking positions depending on which side of the fence they're on. But we, the citizens, are going to suffer. Rape is going to continue. Corruption is going to continue. This kind of encounters are going to continue. Is that a very cynical point of view, or do you think this is exactly what's going to happen? When it's the BJP in power, Congress will hit the streets, vice versa when the other way around. But the situation on ground is not going to change.
Kind of things, as Rashid said, rape is not going to stop because it exists in the mind of people, and you are not going to stop people from seeking dominance via actions like rape. But the fact is that you need to be, then, as Rashid said, you need to be a bit more sensitive to what is going on around you. And, those days are gone when women would not talk about these things. Those days are gone now. And thankfully, they will never come back. So, if Yogi Adityanath has taken some actions by setting up an SIT, etc., more power to him. But the fact is that we need to see very quick and very fast conclusion to these kind of things. If the investigation keeps on dragging on and on and on, and the facts of the case are not put before people, well, then it will just disappear like Vikas Yadav and other encounters in UP. Yogi Adityanath will just be given a bad name and people will hang him. So the victim here is you and me. The victim is not Yogi Adityanath.
This political handling, one is the case, what happened. Second is the handling of it. As we were discussing, Sheila Dikshit also made an insensitive comment during the Vasant Kunj case. She was, pulled up for it. Mulayam Singh's comments we are quoting today, boys will be boys. How do you see Yogi's handling of it? So far, we've not heard anything reassuring or seen anything reassuring from Yogi. And this is not the first case. There have been others also.
I'll totally
you're asking him.
Shantanu, then Radhika.
Yeah, I'll totally disagree. I think Prime Minister talked to him. He tweeted multiple times. He have given a bite on the ANI camera. So I think, and in any case, I'm saying Yogi, see, why will he not do it, right? The only thing is life is his mutt as in politics. He has nothing, piche, nothing aage. I know I've written extensively about his family, how he manages the mutt, right? So I think he has done very meticulously in all the cases. As you said, versus the previous suspension, not only boys will be boys. I'm sure you remember the classic incident when a female journalist went to Akhilesh, talked about a rape incident. He said, "Aapke saath to nahi hua na." This is on camera. Akhilesh said to a female journalist, right? This kind of I think far away from this kind of insensitivity. Gayatri Prajapati has to be arrested after a high court order, right? So I'm saying, you quoted all those cases. The cases are valid. I'm saying 9 out of the 90 cases happening in India are happening in UP. But within 5 days, within 7 days, within 10 days, those people are behind the bars. That's the difference. For if you're living in UP, that's like a sea change. That will happen in 20 years. What has happened last 3 years?
Quickly, Radhika, we are out of time. So quickly,
quickly. You know, there's a difference between what is happening now in Hathras and Balrampur, etc., and what happened earlier, as far as law and order is concerned. Yogi's instincts are certainly, repressive, authoritarian. I mean, look at the way he handled the CAA protests. You know, there was a sort of a trail of brutality. I mean, people were picked up, assaulted, and, but he didn't have to pay a political cost. On the other hand, his political ratings went up among large sections of the population who applauded him for what he did, because that was a polarizing issue. That was a communally polarizing issue. So probably a lot of people felt that what he's doing is right, cracking down on protesters, etc. Similarly, he began his innings with encounters. I mean, it was like a badge of honor for a cop to have actually done an encounter. Again, there was wah-wah for Yogi. Oh, great. I mean, this is the way it should be handled. But this has acquired caste overtones. A whole Dalit sub-caste, namely the Valmikis, seem to be very upset with what happened to this girl. So, when the victims happen to be Dalits, and the whole political dynamics do change, and there is enough reason for the BJP to worry. Some of the MPs have spoken out. Some of the Dalit MPs from UP have spoken out against this. So I would say that there is a difference between what is happening now and what happened earlier in managing law and order for Yogi Adityanath. Somewhere he has to probably pay a political cost.
Very quick agenda on the encounters, if you allow me.
Jaldi se, because I want Rashid this time.
So when the encounters started happening, I personally checked almost like 70-80 of those encounters. All those encounters that happened with the people who were Tadipar, who had a arrest warrant pending 3 years, 5 years back. Police went. And all those, right, all the encounters has to go to a magisterial inquiry. In none of the case, not even one, there is an iota of doubt. They were genuine. They were criminals. Police went there. When counter firing happened, police attacked, and some of them killed, and a lot of them arrested also with wounds. And police followed all the protocols, right? I'm saying, why we want Vikas Dubey to become politicians, and Vikas Dubey is where he should be.
Because he's somebody's brother. You can't kill him in cold blood like that.
No, I'm saying that let magistrate inquiry has to find out. Let's not do media trials. Magistrate inquiry has to find out, right? Magistrate inquiry
that the man was murdered.
And that time they found the Brahman angle, because in Thakur the Brahmanas are getting killed, right? Whichever caste getting killed, they say, oh, Thakurs will getting killed. He said he wants to kill all the Thakurs so that he can.
So is that UP politics? Okay, Rashid, quickly just wrap up if you want. You want a quick last word on this?
I think on the political side, one thing is very interesting, because how Priyanka Gandhi is gaining ground in Uttar Pradesh. As we know, the Congress is number 4 in terms of pecking order. If we assume BJP is number 1 in ruling class, then comes Samajwadi Party and Bahujan Samaj Party. But Priyanka, by making right kind of noises, whether it's in social media or street fight, she's bridging that gap and becoming by 2022 when Assembly elections are held in UP, it will be Yogi Adityanath versus Priyanka Gandhi. And she has found who's working on the ground. So it is not just about social media or so on Twitter, but they're on the ground also. I think that's where she has scored over Akhilesh.
So that is a sub story to the whole UP thing, that Priyanka, this we've seen it on the bus diplomacy during the lockdown. We've seen it now also. Priyanka is really turning out to be the opposition face against Yogi Adityanath. But more than that, today the debate really was, I think we began by talking about the impact on the Modi government, but it's really the impact on Yogi himself, rather the Yogi government in BJP, and of course the fallout of the Hathras race incident. But that's it for now. Thank you for watching this show. We'll see you again same time next week.
For more such videos, subscribe to the NewsX YouTube channel, hit the bell icon.